Well, hello, Rockhounds, Lapidary lovers, folks of all sort. Welcome back to my channel. Mike here. And today we're going to have another session at the Lortone Lapidary Saw, and we're going to cut into some rocks I've got. And I've got quite a variety here. Some I've collected myself, some I bought at rock shops. And we're going to cut into them and see what we can see on the inside. And you'll be wondering to yourself, Mike, why you want to cut into these ugly looking rocks? There's nothing special about them. They're ugly. Well, they're also dry. Let me wet them down. And I'll give you a close-up look at them. Now, this is a rock I found in Wyoming when I was out rockhounding. And I call this stuff flame jasper. Just look at the orange and red and yellow, almost like dancing flames in this stuff. This is an amazingly pretty rock. I really love it. I really like it. It's very pretty. So we're going to cut some pieces off of this. See if we can get some of that nice flame-like stuff going on there. Over here we got some Brazilian agate. Got this at a rock shop, probably over a year ago now, and it's just been sitting around waiting to do something with it. So I'm thinking we take some thin slices off of this, thin enough to be translucent. I think those will be some really pretty slices. And over here, I guess you'd call this water level agate. Don't know much about it. Got it in a rock shop too. It was going cheap. So we'll try taking some thin slices off of it and see how they look. Over here, well, this is some kind of agate, I'm thinking. What? I don't know. Found this out rockhounding. But it's clearly got some agate in it. So we'll take some slices off of it and see if there's anything pretty on the inside. And then I got one more geode that I bought at a rock shop in Arizona back in the spring. Been cutting these in every session, so this is my last one. This is the biggest one too. This thing, whoo, it's big. We'll see if there's anything good in it. It's always hit or miss with geodes. Sometimes they're gorgeous, sometimes they're garbage. So we'll cut into that and we'll see what we got. So that's what we're going to do today at the saw. Now, speaking of the saw, I'll give you a quick look at it. Yeah, before we get started, I've got to uncocoon it. We had a hurricane come through a while back, and, well, I battened down the hatches around here, covered it up really good, just in case we had horizontal rain coming up under the carport here where I'm set up. And, well, sure enough, there was a lot of horizontal rain. So I'll get this uncocooned and ready to go, and we'll put one of these rocks in it, and we'll start cutting. Okay, we're going to start with this stuff I'm calling flame jasper. I really love the pattern on it. The flame, it's like jumping flames. I really love that. So let me see if I can get a decent slice of it here. I'm pretty sure it's jasper, so it's probably pretty tough. But it's also probably going to be pretty opaque, so there's no point in cutting it thin to try and see through it. So we'll take a hefty slice on it. Make sure this is good and tight. And I guess we're ready to go. Get a slice off of this and we'll look at it up under the lights. Alright, it's going to take a few minutes. That's a big rock. Alright, I heard two thuds, so I'm thinking the rock must have split. Let's have a look. Yeah, we got a couple pieces, but we got one big piece and one little piece. So, hey, I'll take that. Get a rag here. It's the big piece. Oh, yeah. Beautiful flame pattern on it. Especially on this side. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's that. And then there's this little piece down here. Alright. We'll take a look at these up on the bench. I'm thinking a cab right out of here. It looks like just a dancing flame right there. Big cab, but still. That'd be nice. Okay, let's take a look at these up on the bench. And I'm going to, well, first, before we do that, let me crank this out. Oh, I'm glad I didn't wander away. My safety chain came disconnected here. So this would have continued running until it hit the hub of the blade. That would have been bad. Oh yeah, that's nice. I think we need to see if we can take another cut out of this. Probably got enough travel here to get another cut. I'm thinking. And it'll probably break like the last one did, but we don't really have enough travel. Okay. I'm going to have to loosen the device here and move the rock over. I was afraid of that. Should have moved it over further when I first put it in, but well, yeah, there's the logistics of keeping it straight in here. You run it up against the blade here and straighten it out, more or less, so we get a even cut, more or less, and then tighten it down again. Okay. And then we'll try getting another cut. Yeah, I should have run it in further, but well, it's kind of irregular over on this side, and I was afraid it wouldn't sit square. If I crank this down tight enough, though, it shouldn't move. Okay, that's pretty darn tight. And we'll get about a 1/4-inch slice. Tighten everything down. All right. And we're off and running again. One more cut. At least one more cut. We'll take a look at what I've already cut. There. You see that dancing flame pattern in there? That's why I call this stuff flame jasper. That is really pretty. Get some reflections, so you may not be seeing it at its best. Maybe that's a little better. Plus, my camera doesn't render the colors as well as it ought to. But wow, yeah, that's really pretty. Like dancing flames. I like that. Well, let's see what the next piece looks like. All right, let's see what we got. I went in to have some lunch, and the cut completed while I was in there, and my safety chain shut the machine off. Fortunately, I saw that it was loose and reconnected it earlier. Wow, look how blood red it's gotten inside the machine. There must be a lot of iron in this rock, because the stuff I was cutting in it last did not make it this blood red. So I'm thinking these... Hey, we got a whole piece this time. Uh-oh, well, I spoke too soon, didn't I? Yeah, there's a nice fissure right there. But yeah, I'm thinking the flame pattern in here must be some sort of iron mineral. All right, we'll take a look at this up on the bench and decide whether I want to... Well, first let me look and see whether I want to start another cut. There's clearly a fissure in here somewhere. It's causing it to fall apart, although I am not seeing it. Maybe we've cut through the fissure. What are the odds of that? I'm thinking to myself. Probably slim to none, and Slim just left town, but maybe we will try one more cut before we move on to something else. Yeah, this is really, really red. We'll go a little bit thicker too. Maybe that'll help it hold together. There must be a lot of iron in this stuff. I mean, this is like banded iron red. I'm not cutting banded iron. Although, I will say, I found this flame jasper in an area where there was a lot of banded iron. So, maybe there is a fair amount of iron in it. Okay, we'll do one more cut and see what we got. Alright, so here's the second cut. Let's get focus on it here. It's covered with oil, and red oil at that. That's a shame that that's fracturing right there. That's pretty up in that area. Let's see, oh yeah, look at that. It's really pretty. Of course, it's still pretty down here. Oh yeah. Well, it's still got some pretty areas on it. So I'm cutting this next one a little thicker. We'll see how well it holds together. If it holds together. All right. This sounded like it might have stayed together. We'll see. Yeah, we got one piece, fairly thick. I may have overdone it a little bit on the thickness there. But at least it stayed together at the moment. Boy, that thread. It's looking like a massacre in here. Ooh. Look at that. Oh yeah, I see where it wants to split apart. We're going to handle it very delicately. Oh yeah. Wow. Okay. Let's look at this up on the bench. I think that's as much as I can cut without moving this, so let's take a look at this up on the bench and maybe we will move on to cutting something else. So here's the last one. Look at that bonfire-like flame pattern in there. Unfortunately, there's where it wants to fissure right there. But yeah, that's amazing. I'm loving that. I mean, the camera's not doing it justice. Really, it isn't. The colors are just crazy. Yeah, just crazy. All right, let me pull the rock out of the saw because I'm gonna have to move it anyway if I want to cut anymore. We'll take a look at it and decide if we want to cut anymore or move on to something else. Well, yeah, it's getting pretty thin here. It'd be hard to get too many more slabs off of it the way I had it mounted in the saw. Of course, I could cut a lot off of this side, which might not be a bad idea. Looks pretty solid in here. Now there's some bunch of fissures. I don't know if they're showing up in the reflections there. So this whole area up here is wanting to fall apart. I was thinking I could put it back in the saw and maybe cut it on a bias and get some more slabs out of it that way and try to avoid the worst of the fissuring. That's a possibility. But I think that's a project for another time. May or may not work. May just be a waste of time. I don't know. The more I look at this stuff, the more I think it's some kind of oddball banded iron. It's I don't know. It doesn't really feel dense enough, but it certainly has enough iron in it. And I found it in an area where I found a whole lot of banded iron. So I don't know. But yeah, the pieces. I still like the first piece that came off. I think the best. Although this is nice. Yeah, this area in here is nice. And this still has some nice areas in it too. So yeah. But wow, I love this flame jasper. I hope I can find more, but I need to go back there and look around and see if I can find any more of this stuff. Maybe with fewer fissures. That would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice. So what do we want to cut next? Well, I'm thinking Brazilian agate. I'm thinking take some nice thin slices off of this that are translucent enough to let the light show through this agate. I think that's going to be gorgeous. So let me get this in the saw and we'll get to cutting. Okay, so we got this in here. And this being agate, it's going to be a lot tougher than that fractured jasper over there. So I'm thinking I can take fairly thin cuts out of it. We'll try, well, we'll try that and see how that works. If I can, I'll go even thinner. We'll see how translucent this stuff is. Okay. And we're off. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, oh, that is quite translucent. Yes, yes it is. Wow. Let's have a look at this up on the bench and decide whether I want to try cutting it thinner or if I'm liking this thickness here. Let's have a look. So that's pretty nice. Look how translucent it is. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I like that. I'm thinking another one just about like that would be perfect. Here, let me look at it. Let me show it to you in the light up here. I can get a good focus on it. Come on, focus you. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Let me see if I can get another slice just about like that one out of it. That's really pretty. All right, so here's the second cut. Slightly thinner than this one, but really not that much thinner. But I think you can see more detail in this. Let me get a little light behind it here and see if I can get it into focus. Um, and I don't think it's because it's thinner. I think as I cut into this, I'm getting into some more interesting detail in there. Got some radial lines coming out from the center. Got some concentric circles there. That's neat. That's very neat. That's very pretty. That almost doesn't need any polishing or anything. Wow. All right, so I think what I'll do is I'll take one more slice off of this um, and see what that looks like. See if this increase in detail continues as we go in. I'll take another thin slice off, though. Yeah, nice thin slice, just like that last one. That looks like about it right there. Okay. All right, so one more time. Well, let's see what we got. Let the mist out. Oil mist. Another nice slice. Agate was cut so nice. Oh yeah, there's a lot of detail there. It's weird what's going on there. Well, I think that's probably the last cut I can get without moving the stone. Let's see if I want to take any more cuts. We'll take a look up on the bench at this, and I think I'll pull this out. We'll look at both of them up on the bench. All right, so here's our three cuts so far. The first one, the second one, the one I just did, and then here's the rock as it is now. Clean some of the oil off here. Definitely, I think we're seeing more detail as we get in deeper. And what's interesting is this little drop-like feature here has gotten less prominent as we go in. It's basically going away. But otherwise, there's a whole lot of detail there. That's kind of neat. And I could see these things being, I could drill like a hole in it and see it being like the wind catcher or sail for like a wind chime or something. I think that'd be really pretty, twisting in the wind with the sun shining through it, or hanging in just hanging in a window or something, catching the sun. I think that would be really pretty. But anyway, this stone has gotten to the point where I don't really think I can effectively move it out enough to get any more cuts with the vise that's in there. I might have to wait till I've got my different vise in there, which maybe I can get a better grip on this stone. With this stone might make a reappearance in the future videos when I have the small vise in there, and I can hopefully grip it a little better and maybe get some more slices off of it, because it's really pretty in there. I'm liking that. I'm liking this agate. Brazilian agate. Okay, so speaking of agate, let's try cutting this stuff next. Looks like agate. I say we take a slice off of it and see what's on the inside. How do I want to cut it? Well, first off, I better figure out whether I can hold it in the vise in the saw effectively, because it's kind of an irregular shape. How do I want to cut it here? I'm thinking if I can hold it, I want to cut it right through here and see what we get. So let me see if I can get it in the saw and see if I can get a cut on it. Well, I got it in, but as I was mounting it, I was thinking this was really probably a better candidate for cutting in my small vise too. But yeah, we'll just take a slice across here and see what we expose. See if there's anything really interesting in there. See, the saw's not hitting it. Good. It looked like it was close. All right. So let's give it a cut. See what we expose. Alrighty. Let's see what this first cut looks like. We only got a good cut. Alright. Well, we just got into the agate part up here. This part down here, I guess, is more like Jasper, but that's cool. That would look neat polished, I think. It's very shiny. It's almost like obsidian. I'm sure it's Jasper, though. Let's see what we got. Well, I'm thinking maybe I don't have the stone in here in the best orientation now that I can see inside it. I'm thinking I may need to flip it 90 degrees to cut into the agate part. So yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll flip it 90 degrees and try taking another cut. It'll have a nice flat bottom to sit on now anyway. So, yeah. Looks like it's not all agate, just in this area here. Let's see here. Yep, I got it all covered with this red oil. Figure out that's what I want to cut right there. Okay. Get myself covered with this red oil too. In a future video, I'm going to clean out this this saw. I'll give you a look at that. I'm going to try my hand at recycling the oil. My buddy Jim says that can be done. Mineral oil has gotten just outrageously expensive. No good reason that I can see. So, see if we can recycle some of this stuff. Let's see here. Just tighten down. I don't see any reason why I can't filter this oil and reuse it. So, get all the particulates out of it. Crank it in and get it cut. About there, I'm thinking. See what that looks like. Maybe there's enough agate there to get 2 cuts out of it. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Alright. Here we go again. One more time. You never know what's in these rocks until you cut into them. Sometimes spectacular, sometimes not so much. There's less agate there than I thought there was. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Ooh, that doesn't look too good. Some little bits. Just some little bits. I don't know, this rock, I don't know. I'll give it one more chance. I'm going to go in and take one more cut, and we'll see what we get here. All right. Hopefully, something more than that. I'll throw this in my pile to be tumbled. This whole rock may end up in my to be tumbled pile. Okay. See if we get do any better this time. Well, let's see if we did any better this time. Oh, we got a piece of something. Oh, maybe. Maybe. That's kind of interesting. Any more to this rock, or is that about it? I may be able to get another cut, but I think I'm going to have to reposition it first. So let's take a look at this one up on the bench, and then I'll reposition it, and we'll get another cut. So just to keep this video from getting too long and cumbersome, I went ahead and repositioned the rock. It started to saw up again, but well, that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's not the most beautiful piece of agate I've ever cut, but it's got some interesting patterns in it. We'll see what the next cut brings. Looks like it's got some fissures through it too. So I'm kind of surprised it didn't break up. We'll see if this next piece breaks up. So I repositioned the saw to do a fairly thin cut, since it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of agate there, but there is some. All right, so we'll see what this next cut looks like. Okay, well, this didn't work out too good. The saw started making a weird noise partway through the cut, and yeah, the rock popped out of the vise. And then this blade started cutting into it again at a weird angle here. So, yeah. Okay. I think we're going to set this rock aside until I have my small vise in here. It'll be much easier to get in the small vise, and then maybe I can get another decent cut off of it, because it looks like I can at least get one or two more cuts out of it that are agate, and it's got some interesting red dendrites in here. We'll take a close look at it up on the bench and decide what we want to cut next, but I think I'm just going to set this aside for now. Yeah, sometimes bad things happen when I try to hold a rock that's too small and irregular shaped in that big vise. But it's got some interesting patterns in there. I don't know if we're in focus here. Let's see if I can get any better focus on it. And yeah, this part over here would be transparent if I could get a cut through it. So I'll set this rock aside, get some more oil off of it here. It's pretty wet. And I'll save this piece. These two pieces can go in my pile to be tumbled. This might come out interesting. We'll lose that little fin of agate off of it, I'm sure, in the tumbling, but it should be an interesting looking piece when it's tumbled. So what do we want to cut next? I'm thinking the waterline agate over there. That's what I'm thinking. Might have a little bit of trouble holding this in the vise too. Kind of an irregular shape here, but we'll give it a try and see if we can get a cut or two off of it. Alright, so let me get it put in the saw and we'll get to cutting on it. Alright, you got the waterline agate in the saw. Take a little bit of a cut on it. It looks like agate, so I'm assuming it can handle a relatively thin cut, which, you know what happens when you assume, but we're going to try that to start with. See if we can get a fairly thin cut off of it. See if any of this is translucent, or if it's just all opaque. So we'll see. Alright, so let me get the door closed and we will start cutting. Okay, let's see what our waterline agate looks like. Let me grab a rag, because I know it's going to be a mess in there. Oh, it fell down against the saw blade. That didn't seem to hurt it. Ooh, yeah, it does have some translucent areas in it. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Nice. I don't know if that's showing up. We'll look at it up on the bench, okay? Here we are. Yeah, that's quite translucent, huh? Look at that. Yeah. I'm liking that. That's pretty. That's very pretty. So I got to get at least one more slice out of this thing. So let me crank the saw in and make another slice. And we'll take a look at it up here on the bench. All right, here's the second one. There's the first one. They are really nice. I mean, let me give you some idea just how translucent they are up here in the shop light. Make sure I get a focus on it. Yeah, look at that. every color band in it has some translucency. So that's really, really cool. I like that a lot. Yeah. Again, I'm thinking these could make nice sails for wind chimes or just hanging on a string, in front of a window, catching the sun. I think these would be really, really pretty. So this is cutting really nice. I'm cutting them thin enough that they're translucent without any trouble. I'm just going to cut one more, and then maybe we'll move on to something else. But these are just so pretty, I got to have one more of them. All right. So here we are. Here's the third one, slightly thinner and slightly more translucent than the other two. Here's the remains of the rock. I need to come up with a better way of holding it because it's very tapered here. It's very hard to clamp on it. I got to come up with some better clamping technology for rocks like this that are hard to hold on to. So, but yeah, this is way cool. I'm loving these. Showed to my wife; she liked them too. She thinks they're very pretty, along with these over here. So yeah, very cool, very cool. Who doesn't love some nice agate? All right, what are we gonna cut next? Okay, I guess all we got left to cut today is this big honking geode. As usual, I don't know what the best way to get this in the saw would be. It'd be nice to have x-ray vision to see just what's inside this thing. Um, it's kind of flat on that side, so it'll probably sit better that way. And it's a little oblong this way, so I'm thinking I need to cut it through here. Got a big knob sticking out here. I'll try to cut it through that knob. And we'll see what's on the inside. I mean, geodes, it's always a crapshoot. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're garbage. So we've had a little of both lately, cutting them. So fantastic and not worth the effort. A little of both. So we'll see what this one turns out to be. Let me see if I can get it clamped in the saw and see if I can cut it more or less straight down through here and see what we get. Alrighty, I've got this mounted in here where I think we'll cut right through it, right through this knob here. I've got the slide over just as far as it will go, so we can try and get more or less equal halves on the geode. It's hard when you're clamping something round to cut it exactly in half, but I think this time I've got it pretty good. One half's always slightly bigger than the other, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a long cut. That's a big rock. So I'll go do something else for a while. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Well, this is a little more interesting than the last one I cut, for sure. Look at that. Whoa, that is interesting. That is interesting. Yeah. Okay. Let me get the other half out of the saw here, and we'll take a look at them up on the bench under the lights. That is way cool. We got a winner this time, guys. Yeah. All right. Let's look at them on the bench. Well, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Look at that. Look at that. Is that crazy? Look at this feathery, bright orange stuff in here. As usual, my camera is not doing the colors justice. That is some crazy looking stuff in there. And then we got some sort of blue-gray agate up in here. Got some agate down here, agate over here. I didn't quite get them, half and half. But you know what? That gives me a thought, though. If I can reclamp this in there, I might be able to take a slab off of this. Boy, wouldn't that make a pretty slab? And then these two pieces would be more equal in size. So, yeah, I think I might try that. I might see if I can reclamp this in the saw and see if I can get a slab off of it. Because, Look at that stuff in there. That's why you got a bad reflection, but trust me, that's crazy. That's very cabbable. It's very cabbable. Wow. Yeah, so let me see if I can reclamp this in there and manage to take off, a 3/16 quarter-inch slab off this. Um, I'll have something really crazy nice. Plus, the two halves here will be more symmetrical. So we'll try that. But it's late in the day, so I'll try that tomorrow. So see you in the morning. Alrighty, it's the next morning, and I've got this mounted in here. I think I've got it fairly parallel to the blade. See if I can get a decent slice off of it. And hopefully everything just goes right here. Okay. And we'll give it a shot and see. That's going to take about 20 minutes or so before we know if it's a whole piece or just pieces. Okay, so I got quiet. So time for the moment of truth. It's like Schrodinger's cat. You don't know if it's alive or dead until you open the box. Let's see if we got a good cut or if we got pieces. Ooh, it looks like we might have got a good cut. Nice. Find a rag here. Oh yeah. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm liking that. Oh yeah. In thin section, this is even cooler than it was looking at the side of the Geode there. Oh yeah. I don't think I can get another cut off of it. I mean, I'd have to move it over, and well, it's getting hard to clamp because it's round, you know. But let's take a look at this and the rock up on the bench and see just what we've got here. Check that out. That is nice. And the two halves of the Geode are much closer to being similar in size now. Although one half is still a little bigger than the other, but still much similar. They still both have the nice pattern in them. And look at this piece I just cut out. Translucent that is. We'll get a look at that in the light here. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. And not only is it translucent, it's got this feathery yellow-orange stuff going on in it that's just amazing. Yeah, look at that. Crazy. I think that went well. In fact, I think this has been a good session at the saw altogether. I really do. Let me gather up all the stuff we've cut. Well, yes, I would say this has definitely been a good day at the saw. And I think we saved the best for last with this Geode because this is just spectacular. Although the waterline agate and the Brazilian agate, super nice. And there's some really nice pieces of that flame jasper back there that I need to try and cab some of these jumping flame patterns out of in the future. So yeah, I think it was a really good day at the saw. I couldn't be much happier with the results. If you guys are happy with this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to see my future videos. There'll be more videos where I'm cutting rocks. I'm going to be getting into cabbing in the future. That's what I'm saving all these slabs for cabbing. Going to be doing some other stuff I think that's interesting too. Lots of rock tumbling. I'll be out west again in less than a month, and I'll be rockhounding. So there'll be some more rockhounding videos. So subscribe to see all those videos, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye.